Hello beautiful people, you're welcome to this channel and I'm Gift Gosh Time. If this is your first time to this channel, you are welcome, and to all my returning subscribers, thank you for your support. So today's tutorial I'll be teaching you how to achieve this crop top and also how to get this multiple holes at the neckline. Kindly stay tuned. If you are yet to subscribe to my channel, please do, and do not forget to give this video a thumbs up. So I'll be using this Ankara fabric. It's a beautiful pattern. I love the two different pattern, and I'll also be using satin for my lining. First of all, I'm going to draw my starting line. Next, I'm going to impute my shoulder measurement, which is 14 divided by 2, and I'm going to come down by 1 inch for my shoulder slant. Next, I'm taking my neckline, which is 3 inches. So I just connected my shoulder slant to the neckline, and I'll be taking the neck depth of 4 inches, and I'll be using a U-shaped neckline for this. Now I'm taking the armhole depth, which is 7.5. I'm just making sure that it aligns with my shoulder, which is 7, and then I'm going to connect the straight line and extend that line. Next, I'll be imputing my bust measurement, which is 36 divided by 4, so I got 9. Next, I'm dividing that armhole line I drew. I'm dividing it into 2, get the midpoint, and then connect my armhole curve, as you can see from the video. Next, I'm going to be taking my shoulder to my bust, which is 10 inches, and then I'm going to be drawing a horizontal line across it. Now I'm going to be taking my top length for the crop top, and I'll be using from my shoulder to my upper waist line, which is 17 inches. That is 2 inches above the belly button. So that is where I want the crop top to stop. So I'm just extending the bust point right there, and I took my bust measurement divided by 4. Now I'll be adding 1.5 inches, half inch for sewing and 1 inch for ease, because the crop top ought to be free. So the measurement I'm going to be taking for the waist, I'm going to minus 1 inch from that of the bust I took. So the bust I took 10.5 inches. For the waist region, I'm taking 9.5. So I'm going to connect the two lines together. Next, I'm going to extend the chest region and connect it to my measurement. So this is the pattern I'll be working with, and I'm going to cut it out. So this is the pattern. By the time I'm going to put it on my fabric to cut out, I'm going to be adding my allowance at the edge, at the hem part, and also at the shoulder part. So I've gone ahead to do that, and this is it. I've cut both my main bodies and my lining. Now what I did for my lining, I made it 1 inch shorter than the main fabric, so that I will use it to turn it to give it a good finishing. As you can see, the lining is 1 inch shorter than the main fabric. So what I did extra, which is not compulsory, I added 1 inch extra to the side seam. As you can see, there's 1 inch extra from the pattern. I did that in case I increase in size in future, I'm still able to fit in this outfit. I mean, this is Nigeria, we always add extra to be able to fit in our outfit anytime we add in size. So I added stay in order to give it volume by the time I'm creating the multiple holes, so that the fabric doesn't fry up. So now I took my pattern, as you can see, and I'm marking 4 inch downwards from the neckline. I'm going to cut it off. So I'll be needing 2 of these, So I'm placing it on my pattern paper to cut it out because I'll be needing the two of them, and I'm going to illustrate the reason why you need it. So now, to create that shape we have, you can do any shape you want. You can do circle, heart shape, but I'm doing a kind of oval shape. So I took 2.5 inches. As you saw earlier, this pattern is on fold. So I'm going to extend this line, that 2 inches down I came. So now from this extended line, I'm going to be taking half, 3/4 of an inch. So by the time I open it up, because the pattern is on fold, it will be 1.5. Now I'm going to curve it to the tip, as you see me doing. Next, from that point, that 3/4 of an inch, I'm going to go upwards by ½ inch, and then I'm also going to draw a curve to this other part. So this is the shape I'll be working with. This is how I achieve this shape you saw on the thumbnail. So this is what I'll be placing on that smaller neck pattern we cut this pattern. So I'm going to start from the folded part and draw the first circle. Next, I'm going to calculate the neckline, how many is left, and I'm going to distribute it evenly. So I'll be using 2 inches spacing for it. Altogether, I want 5 of this on my neck region. So I'm just going to use that pattern paper to trace all of them. And this is it. This is what we have when the pattern paper is open up. This is the shape I'll be working with. So right here, I've gone ahead to sew the edge, that is the down part, the right side of the main fabric and the right side of the lining facing each other, and I went ahead to sew. So I'm also pulling it to get to the shoulder part and the neckline. So that is the fold right there at the down part, because the lining is 1 inch shorter. So I just flipped it over, and I'm going to take my pattern, which I have this shape, to align within the neck region. And next, what I'll be doing, I'll be sewing on that shape with my pattern paper on the main bodice. So next, what I'll be doing, I'll be cutting out the shape. As you can see, I've already sewn it on my main bodice. So this is how I'll be cutting it. I'll be following the shape, and I'll cut inward. I'll follow the line. You have to be very careful while cutting it so that you don't cut off your seam which you have already made. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Gently and carefully, I'm going to cut it out, all the shape. So this is it. This is all of them being cut out. Next, I'm going to be taking off the pattern paper out of the main bodice. So this is how it looks like. Next, I'm going to be notching this point which I just made my stitches, because this is a curve shape. So by the time I make my notch, it will be easy for me when I flip it over, it will be able to align properly. Now I'm flipping it to the right side and also bringing out the shape of the neckline we just formed, that is the multiple keyhole. So this is it. So I'll go and give it a good press. Now if you flip it to the other side, the lining is 1 inch shorter, so that is the way it will come out so beautiful. So this is it after pressing it. As you can see the shape which we just formed. Now I'm going to take the other pattern which we have, the second pattern, because we didn't draw any shape. That's why I said I'll be showing you the reason why we need 2 of it. And I'm going to be placing it behind the main bodice. Now I will be using a bias strip to seal up the neckline. So this pattern paper guides you to know your shape of the neckline you initially cut, because after cutting this neckline, as you can see, it's scattered. So this pattern helps you to give you the original shape of the neckline. So I've gone ahead to use my bias stitch on it. I made my sewing with the pattern. Next, I'm going to be ripping off the pattern of the neckline. So this is it. I've gone ahead to remove that pattern paper. This is what we have in front, and this is it at the back. It is neatly finished. I'll proceed to the back pattern. Firstly, I'm going to be drawing 2 inches, and this line is for my button. So next, I'm going to be drawing my starting line. So now I will be starting all my measurements from that point. I'll be taking my shoulder measurement, which is 14 divided by 2, which is 7. So as you can see, I'm starting all my measurements from that, away from that 2 inches line, which I just did right now. Next, I'm going to be taking my shoulder slant. I'm going to be dropping it by 1 inch, the same way I did for that of the front. And then I will be taking my neckline, which is 3 inches in width and 1 inch in depth. So I'm going to connect that my neckline 3 inches in width to that of the shoulder slant, as you can see. And I'll be taking my armhole depth, which is 7.5. So I'll be connecting the line with a straight rule. Next, I'm going to extend the line for my chest region. Now I'll be taking the 1 inch depth I told you earlier about for the neck region, and I'll be connecting it with a curve using my curve rule. I will also extend it to that 2 inches button allowance I gave earlier. Now I'll be taking my shoulder to my bust measurements, which is 10 inches, and my shoulder to my waist measurements, which is 17 inches for the crop top. And then I'll be extending the lines horizontally. Next, I'm going to be imputing my measurements. This is for my bust region, which is 36 divided by 4. And then I added my 1.5 inches, the same way I did for the front. Then I also subtract the figure I got I subtracted it with 1 inch for that of the waist. Now I'm taking the midpoint of the armhole region, and then I'm connecting it with a curve to this other line. So I'm just indicating this is the bottom part. Now I'm going to cut out our pattern because we are done for the back pattern. So this is the pattern I'll be using to cut out all my fabric, and I'll be doing the same thing I did for that of the front, adding extra ½ inches at the down part, and also adding extra 1 inch at the seam part, the side seam. And then my lining will be 1 inch shorter than the main fabric. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hem, not really hem, I'm going to sew the down part to be able to turn it over. After stitching the down part, next I'm going to be pulling the lining to align to the shoulder of the main bodice and also the neckline, the same way I did for that of the front. And I'll be sewing the neckline of the back bodice. After sewing the neckline, this is what it is. This is how the down part looks like. So I'm still going to maintain this fold, and I'll be sewing this button part. I'll be sewing this edge with this fold the way I'm illustrating on the video. I'm done sewing it. Next, I'm going to be flipping it to the right side, and you're going to see how it comes out, the way it will look like. That's why I always leave 1 inch shorter for that of the lining. It's just to give it a good finishing, that's all. So next, what I'll be doing, I'll be marking the 2 inches which I gave for my button earlier, and I'll be folding it in. I'll be sewing it all the way down. I'm done sewing it, and this is the outcome of it. So I made 2 stitches, as you can see. So this is the other side of the back. Next, I'm going to take the front, that is front side facing each other, and I'll be joining the side seam. So this is how I'm going to do it to achieve a perfect finishing. I'm going to be attaching them, that is Ankara facing Ankara, right side of Ankara fabric facing the Ankara, and the lining, right side of the lining facing each other, and I'm going to sew as you can see me illustrating in the video. I'm done sewing it, so now I'll be turning it over for you to see how neat it is. So this is it. The seam is inward, so I've also done the other parts as well. So as you can see, the finishing is neat, both the down part and the sides. So this is what I want to achieve, and I did achieve it. So next I'm going to be attaching them at the shoulder line. I'll also show you how to achieve a perfect finishing at the shoulder part. So right side facing right side, the same way we have been doing, right side of the fabric of the Ankara fabric facing right side. Then I'm going to pick one part of the lining, either the back or the front, and turn it over as you can see me illustrating in the video, and then I'm going to sew it. Now for my sleeve part, I have a detailed tutorial on how to draft a sleeve pattern. I'll be dropping the link in my description box. So I've gone ahead to cut a short sleeve for it, and I've also cut my lining. Now I also did the same thing. My lining is 1 inch shorter than the main fabric. So I'm going to be placing my lining right side facing right side, and I'm going to sew the down parts. So I'm done sewing the down parts, and this is it. So this is how the right side looks like. Next I'm going to be folding it as you can see me doing. So the Ankara is facing each other and the lining, and I'll be sewing. So I'm done sewing it, and then next I'm going to be turning it over. So you are going to achieve a perfect seam for your sleeve using this method. So as you can see, you can't find the side seam stitches is inward. So this is it. This is how to achieve it. Now I'll be attaching the sleeve to my bodice. So I have two methods I'm going to show you how to achieve a perfect finishing. So the first method is I'm going to attach the sleeve, the whole sleeve, that is both the lining and the Ankara fabric. I'm going to attach it with the bodice, both the lining of the bodice and the main bodice together. I'm going to sew all through, and then at the end I will use a bias to seal up the edge. That is one method. But the method I'll be using is that I'm going to be attaching only the main fabric, that is the Ankara fabric, with the Ankara fabric of the sleeve. I will be leaving out the lining part both for the sleeve and the main bodice. I won't attach it together. So I'm done attaching the Ankara of the sleeve to the Ankara of the main bodice. So I didn't attach the lining as I said earlier. So this is the lining. Now I'll be attaching the lining. So the lining of the sleeve and the lining of the bodice together. It's very technical. You have to watch the video, and that's why I did not fast forward this part. So as you can see me illustrating with my hands, you have to fold it, turn it the other way, and sew round the armhole of the lining. So when you get to a point whereby you have to let go. So this is this other part. You can't sew completely in order for you to come out. So you have to leave a little bit, as you can see. So now I'll be using my hemming gum to seal it up so that it will be neatly finished. And as you can see, this is what I wanted, and I did achieve it, a perfect finishing inward. So this is it. You cannot tell if I added hemming gum. So you can also hand stitch if you don't want to use hemming gum for it. So this is how the inward looks like, and you can also use this method to achieve any style for blouse to get a perfect finishing, but for this tutorial we did learn how to make a crop top with a multiple keyhole neckline. So, and this inseam finishing is just a bonus in the tutorial. So if you've watched this far and you are yet to give this video a thumbs up, please do. And if you're yet to subscribe to this channel, please do as well. So next I'm going to be showing you the path in which I'm going to be adding my buttons. So this is the back part. I'm going to be creating my buttonholes and attaching my button, and we are done with this tutorial. Please, like I said earlier, do not forget to give this video a thumbs up. Bye.